my name is Kay. I'm a poet and a writer, and the Mouse Empire has put out the Permission to Dance concert video. So guess what I did this morning? It was really good. They had the translations, they had a little bit of behind the scenes footage. I thought it was really well done. Like, it was just the concert footage. It wasn't anything they were trying to be too crazy. The only thing I had any kind of complaint or problem or anything with was that overall the translations were really good. Except for Baepsae. For some reason, Baepsae's lyrics were like super censored, and it was the only one. Everything else was like pretty much like the kind of translations I've seen for them. Even with Idol, you know, there's the part that like oftentimes people won't translate because it's just like an exclamation. They tried to translate that and it was super awkward. They're just like, hooray, or like, all right. And it was kind of like, it was a lame translation. Why translate that part that commonly isn't translated because there's not like a good translation for it? But then there were parts in Baepsae that they didn't translate, specifically because then the metaphor would become more apparent. Like they really censored that one down, like really dumbed down the meaning of it with the words that they chose. So it was kind of the message that came across was more like, working too hard is kind of cringe. I was like, that is not Baepsae at all. So interesting. It's kind of like if you ever watched like the original movie of the Newsies and then the stage version that's on Disney Plus. The original version is very like pro-unions, pro-taking down the big machine. Like the working class people can band together and fight against corporate powers. Disney being the big corporate powers, when they sponsored this theater version and put this theater version out on their channel, it was very, they weren't the bad guys anymore. And it kind of felt like they were doing that with Baepsae too, where it was just like, this song was a little too political for the Mouse Empire. So I just thought it was very interesting. It was the only song where it was like blatantly apparent that they really, I mean, they cut out a lot of cursing that I knew was there, or ones that you could actually hear and they just like didn't translate that part. It's like, he said hell yeah and he said it in English, so saying yeah is not what he's saying. But okay, they want you to be able to watch it with your grandma or your small children. Okay, fair enough. But really interesting that Baepsae was the one that they chose to censor. And so DKTV has done obviously an excellent breakdown of this, so that's going to be linked down below so that you can really see, like, from a Korean standpoint, Korean translators, what the meaning of the song is. But I thought, since the Mouse doesn't want us to know the lyrics of Baepsae, we should really look at the lyrics of Baepsae together. I love this song. I'm a millennial, and this song is about millennials and reacting to kind of the unfair socio-political climate that we grew up in. And the first time I actually like saw the lyric translation, I was like, this song is amazing. This is, I said that Anpan Man is my husband's favorite song. This is one of the other ones that he really likes because I showed him the lyrics and he was like, this is yes. This is the kind of song that makes you feel a little bit radicalized. Obviously that's why Disney didn't want us to know what this says. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I like the translation on this mirrored dance practice, so that's what I'm going to be using today. I want to start with the little note they have at the end because I think if you don't know anything about the lyrics, this is the important part. So we're going to jump in from the little end translator's note and then go back. So let's just go ahead and we'll just talk about that bit first. So when translated, literally, try hard, Baepsae is a small bird, a crow-tit. Really cute little bird. I'll try and put a picture up. And a silver spoon is a bigger, faster bird, and that's why they're dancing like birds. So then the phrase is that, DKTV knows the actual phrase, but basically the phrase that they're talking about, that they're using for this, is something along the lines of that a crow-tit, a small bird, taking the same number of steps is never going to get as far as a stork, a bird with long legs, you know, taking the same number of steps. And so that's the political message, that's the undertone that we're going for. That's the main key here. So that metaphor is key here. Now let's go back and let's just enjoy. The song is great. This is also the one where they're like, time to hip thrust against social inequality. So that's fun. Okay, we're gonna jump in now. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So they call me a tryhard. I'm been hated on this generation, and then hurry up and chase them is something that they've been saying to this generation. Thanks to the silver spoons, I'm completely worn out. And silver spoons in here, the wordplay is that that's the storks, and that's also like boomers. They're basically like millennials versus boomers here in this context, but also like lower economic wealth versus higher economic wealth. They're talking about kind of both things. Silver spoon in your being born with a silver spoon in your mouth implies you were born into wealth as well. And so thanks to those in socio-political, those who were born earlier, I'm completely worn out. They call me what? Try hard. Been hated on this generation. Hurry up and chase them. My teacher was born as a silver spoon. So the people trying to teach me a lesson about the world, by people who are trying to prepare me for the world, were already born with a silver spoon in their mouth. And let's talk about how like our parents' generation, if you also grew up as a millennial, our parents' generation were living in a time where with a part-time job, they had the capability of buying a house out of college, where an entry-level position into a job would give you the capability of them purchasing a house, where college was affordable to someone with a part-time job, no matter what socioeconomic background you were from. And so even if they weren't born like into wealth, they had the opportunity to acquire wealth that we no longer have. It no longer exists to us. Hobie says, get a part-time job, it don't pay. Unpaid internships. Again, this is our parents' generation, the boomers, coming being like, hey, like an entry-level position now is an unpaid internship. You'll just do it for the exposure. Again, entry-level positions in their day paying well enough that they can buy a house or move up the chain, and here they're like, no, it's an unpaid position and who knows if you'll ever get put onto a part-time payroll, or even part-time job, it doesn't pay any of your bills. You're making so little at these part-time jobs and entry-level positions that there's nothing you can afford. You can't afford your higher education. You can't afford a house, a stable living condition with just one part-time job, even though that was the reality for our parents' generations. So go to school, and the teachers and superiors are abusing their power, and the media keeps count of all the priorities we've forsaken. Like how many, and now they're doing it to Gen Z as well, and they're still calling Gen Z the millennials in half of the things, but how many articles are there about, oh, millennials are ruining this, oh, millennials aren't doing that, and you're just like, we don't have the ability, the time, the money, any of it for all this bullshit that like, oh, we're killing this thing and that thing. So change the rules, change. Silver spoons want to maintain the status quo, they want to maintain their wealth, they want to maintain their jobs, so new job positions in higher ranking areas are still full of our parents' generations, even though, you know, the new generation is in their 40s now, 30s and 40s are millennials, and they're not able to get to those higher paying jobs because they're still being maintained by the boomers. New positions aren't opening up, parents are not retiring, and yet they're changing the rules for the younger generation, that they are promises made to, especially like, oh man, growing up as a millennial, they're like, you'll go to college, you'll get a job, you'll have this, like there was a roadmap. And yet with every economic crash, which hit apparently Korea like the same way it hit here, like that, I didn't realize how equal we were exactly, but with each of those economic crashes, these things we were promised were taken, like the rug pulled out from under us, and constantly it was like, oh, if you do this, and you're like, okay, I'm about to achieve, oh, that doesn't exist anymore. That can't happen anymore. Now I'm going to have to do this other thing and never make it, and always be in debt because I've been putting the money towards the things you promised, and then those things are taken away. Like that the finish line keeps moving, and has felt, as a millennial, like it's continued to move every time we approach a new, what should be goalpost. It feels like it moves another like mile back. And so we're constantly running to try and catch up with it. And it feels very discouraging. And so he says, that's not gonna work. Bang, bang, like, let's take action. And that is another thing, that when BTS get a little political, they like to be like, let's take some action. Bang, bang. That could be, you can take that how you want, actually. So this isn't right, this isn't right. Like, we're not happy about this. This isn't the way it should be. Like, the wealth is there. The opportunities are there. They're just being taken away from us or hoarded by people in power. And then we're getting blamed for those things. We're getting screwed left and right, and we're still taking the blame for all of it. This part was like the part where I was like, there's a lot more words than they're translating in the Disney version. But so, stop nagging us to work harder. It just makes both my feet and my hands cringe. Stop saying that, oh, if you do this, 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 this. Stop saying, you know, go out and like, put yourself out there, knock on doors to get a job. Like, in our parents' generation, you literally walked into a business and said, hey, hire me, and they hired you. And in our grandparents' generation, like, that was the thing. Nowadays, if you walk into a business and say, hey, hire me, half of the time they'll throw away your resume. Like, that isn't how things are done anymore. Like, putting your like nose to the pavement, or like whatever they say, like nose to the grindstone, anything like that. It's not the case anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. So stop nagging us to work harder, though. Like we're not putting in enough effort. It makes both my hands and feet cringe. I think DK TV is going to explain it a lot better. But this is the kind of thing where, like, it's not that I'm not working. It's not that my feet aren't running towards the goal. It's not that my hands aren't working towards this achievement. It's that this thing can't be achieved that way. It's that something has changed. Like, it's not a me problem, basically. Like, I'm doing everything that I can, and you nagging that, oh, you just need to put in more effort, is so annoying. I'll just work harder. I'll just work harder. Again, what they're saying to us. It's just fruitless labor. I'm just putting in the time and getting pennies back, or getting nothing back. Like, I'm doing all of this, and it will never achieve something bigger. It will never go on to be something bigger. All of the work, like the degrees we got in college, they're meaningless in a lot of fields. Like, you can use your degree to something. I think there's a lot of value in secondary education. It's just that it's not guaranteeing you a job, an income, anything. There's no guarantees based upon the effort that you're putting in. Half the time, getting your foot in the door is most of the effort in anything. Like, there's a lot of fruitless labor. There's a lot of just busy work. There's a lot of just like, even though I'm doing all of these things, nothing's gonna come from it. I'm not going to be able to buy a house by the time I'm 30. It is just fruitless labor. Okay, and here they're making fun of the stork directly. That's the dance that they're doing. So, of course, the silver spoon. No disappointments. Of course, the silver spoon living up to his name. Of course, the silver spoon keeping it all to himself, hoarding the wealth. Of course, the silver spoon, the silver spoon. The things our parents' generation did and accomplished. Okay, and here, this is really important too. I have try-hard legs. I have little legs. Like, I'm the little bird. You have silver spoon legs. You have stork's legs. You have long legs. You're the big bird. And you say your legs are worth $1 million. That's somehow worth the wealth that you're hoarding. My legs are shorter. How can we play in the same league? Like, I cannot take the same number of steps and make it as far as you did. I have to take 100 steps for every one of yours. And they say it's fine as long as you're on the same field. If we think of it like sports terms, I'm 5, I have short little legs, like, and you're a professional athlete. And so yeah, you're running like laps around me. I can't even on my little legs make it from one end of the field to the other the same amount of time it might take you to run around it 10 times. We can't play the same game on the same field. I don't have the same opportunities. I don't have the same abilities as you. This is justice? You must be kidding me. Oh, it's all my fault? Are you joking? The way they talk about millennials, are you joking? I was a child and you promised all these things and I worked hard towards them and then you pulled it away from me. Like, it's all fair? Are you crazy? I like that they're just being totally upfront about it. They're being totally, they're not, this is the thing about this song that probably is the reason why Disney like highly censored. They chose very tame words. They kept some words in Korean rather than allowing for the metaphor to show in any way. Whereas a song like Fire, which is also very political, is more about like, hey, you can be yourself even if the world is telling you. I did that one as one of those, so check that one out too. But even if the world is saying, hey, you have to, you know, do the most, be at 110. If you're not the best, you're nothing. But they're saying it's okay, like sometimes you're gonna lose, like sometimes it's okay to just be a loser, sometimes it's okay to just do what you want, like to live a happy life. And sometimes you don't need to just be the best all the time at every single thing. And they didn't do that one for the concert, but the response to that kind of being ugh, we're like, yeah, okay, we are on the top now, like dealing with that. Yeah, it's okay to be a loser, but like once you are at the top, like it doesn't exactly erase the fact that there were struggles to get there. It doesn't erase the fact that you're having struggles now. It doesn't change the fact that you're still human. Like being at the top and not being able to make it to the top, we're part of the same journey for them, if that makes sense. But okay, so Disney was like, Fire, you can be a loser, that's totally fine, no problem. And of course, Spring Day, highly metaphorical, but also about the Seawall ferry disaster. A highly political song, but very metaphorical and not about something that Disney probably cares about, unfortunately. So those lyrics were as good a translation as you would normally find for them. But then this song is very specific, very direct, very much an attack at the older generation, at the people in power, at, you know, the old boomers who have a lot of wealth are in power. And Disney was like, hey, you can't see that, that's us. We can't be the bad guy, just like the Newsies. Yeah, it's very, they dumbed that down a lot, which is why I just had to go over it. But yeah, are you crazy? They're so direct in this song. They're so pointedly talking to the other generation, and those are the songs that often you don't hear come over here. And as Americans, we like to think that we're not censored. We like to see the rest of the world and see what censorship is going on there, and we don't think about the amount of things that are censored to us. That like, there's a reason why this is not one of the songs that is really, really popular in the US. And it's not because it's all in Korean, because they have plenty of Korean songs that are all in Korean, all Korean lyrics that are popular over here. And they have a lot of highly political songs. Only some of them are ones that, again, have come overseas successfully, and there is a reason for that. He says, this is justice? You must be kidding me. You must be kidding me. Let's embrace it. We are tryhards. We won't disappoint you. We're tryhards. We'll live up to our name. You know, we'll be the little bird. We'll be now not just the little bird, but we'll be the tryhard. We will try too hard. Let's work together. Let's live together. Let's, you know, do what we've got to do to survive and to take over. Like at some point we will take over this generation. We'll take over the boomers. We'll take over everything. Like at some point we will get to the point where that generation is no longer there and we will be the next one. Like let's keep trying, kind of. That was Baepsae. That was Silver Spoon. What did you think? Did you like it? I love it. And again, I just thought it was really interesting and really apparent that that was the one song that Disney like really super changed the lyrics to. It was just to the point to which they really dumbed down what was being said was very interesting. And they didn't sing the whole song either. It was just an excerpt. It was part of like a mashup type of deal. But yeah, it was too apparent to pass up. So I really had to go ahead and talk about that one. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts about it. Obviously, like, I only have this translation in front of me, the DK TV. I highly recommend you check out what their explanation for the lyrics and why this song is so political and why this is something that Disney would want to censor, because they like to censor a lot of their content. Let me know your thoughts and whether or not you also like this song, and check out Fire and check out my other BTS songs. I post videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Still, I might be going down to just Tuesdays and Thursdays. I haven't decided, but leave a like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye!